Good afternoon, everyone. So today we'll continue the rest part, that is separation and isolation of DNA fragments. In the recombinant DNA technology, how could you separate the DNA fragments? The cutting of DNA by restriction endonuclease, you know that the molecular seizure, the enzyme known as the restriction endonuclease, results in fragments of DNA. It scars DNA at the specific site, so you can get the small parts of the DNA. These fragments can be separated by a technique known as the gel electrophoresis. So after cutting the DNA fragments by the restriction in the nucleus, then you can separate this DNA part from the mother's DNA by the process of the gel electrophoresis. Since DNA fragments are negatively charged molecules, they can be separated by forcing them to move towards anode, another electric field throughout a medium or matrix. Nowadays, the most commonly used matrix is agarose, which is naturally polymer extracted from seawoods. Okay, so DNA fragments is negatively charged, so that's why anode, you know that they are negatively charged, so they can easily move towards the anode. And there is the cultural medium, that is agar agar gel. You know that agarose is present in all lab, obviously. In this medium, this culture is happened. Okay. Nowadays, the most commonly used matrix is agarose, which is natural polymer extracted from seaweeds. The DNA fragments separate according to their size through sieving effect provided by agarose gel. Hence, the smaller the fragment size, the further it moves. Look at the case and which of the gel samples was loaded. Okay. So if it is large in size, it is actually agarose gel help as the straining, sieving. After when the DNA fragment is enters in this matrix, they moves through this agarose gel. If it is small in size, it can moves fast. If it is large in size, it can move slow. Okay. The separated DNA fragments can be visualized only after staining of DNA with a compound known as ethidium bromide, followed by the exposure to UV radiation. Okay, so how could you see the DNA fragments in the medium or in the gel electrophoresis? By the using of the stain. What is the stain? Ethium bromide. Okay. Ethidium bromide under the UV rays. Not only you stain the DNA by the ethidium bromide, you can see them, no, under the UV rays, the ethidium bromide, after the staining in the ethidium bromide, you can see the DNA fragments. You can see bright orange color bands of DNA in the ethidium bromide stained gel exposed to UV light. The separated bands of DNA are cut out from the agarose gel and extracted the gel piece. The step is known as elution. Okay, and the DNA fragments purified in this way are used in the constructing recombinant DNA by joining them with the cloning vector. You know that there is plasmid set present, so they are act as the vector, and then this separated DNA joined with the plasmid and then introduced to the host cell. Cloning vector. Cloning means twin formation of the same things. You know that plasmid and bacteriophage have the ability to replicate within bacterial cells independent of control of chromosomal DNA. So both of them can replicate. They have their own DNA, so that's why they can replicate themselves. Bacteriophage, because their high number per cell, have high copy number of their genome within the bacterial cells. Some plasmids may have only 1 or 2 copies cell, where they may have 15 to 100 copies per cell. Okay, so bacteriophage, their number of cell is huge, so that's why they can produce large number of DNA fragments, 15 to 100, whereas the ordinary bacteria can produce to 1 or 2. Okay. Their numbers can go even higher if we are able to link alien piece of DNA with bacteriophage of the plasmid's DNA. When bacteriophage or plasmid's DNA are joined with the alien DNA, there is another DNA is also present, foreign DNA, so that's why the number will be increased. We can multiply its number equal to the copy number of the plasmids or bacteriophage. Vectors used at present are engineered in such a way that they help easy linking of foreign DNA and selection of recombinant from non-recombination. The following are the features that are required to facilitate cloning into a vector. Origin of replication. This is the sequence from where replication starts. You know that origin or replication, the specific site of DNA where the molecules are cut, and there have the origin of replication because they have the capability to initiate replication. This sequence from where the replication start, and any piece of DNA where link to this sequence can be made to replicate within the host cells. This sequence also responsible for controlling copy number of linked DNA. So if one wants to recover many copies to target DNA, it should be cloned in vector whose origin support high copy number. Selectable marker. So what is the facility of the having? So first one, origin of replication. Second one, selectable marker. In addition to ORI, that is origin of replication, the vector requires a selectable marker which helps in identifying and eliminating non-transforming and selecting permitting the growth of the transform. Marker means, you know that why we use marker, because highlight anything to identify easily anything. There is DNA is also need a marker, so that's why they can easily identify which part is able to replicate, what is plasmids, what is alien DNA, so they can replicate according to them. Okay. So transformation is a procedure through which a piece of DNA is introduced in a host bacterium, and normally the genes encoding resistance to antibiotics such as ampicillin, chromophenical, tetracycline or kanamycin, etc., and consider useful selectable markers for E. coli. The normal E. coli cells do not carry resistance against any of these antibiotics. Okay. And cloning sites, where these clones start. In order to link the foreign DNA or alien DNA, the vector needs to have very few preferable single recognition sites for the commonly used restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes, obviously they need a particular or target sites where they start to cut. The vector will generate several fragments which will complicate the gene cloning. The ligation of alien DNA is carried out at a restriction site present in one of the antibiotic resistance genes. For example, you can ligate a foreign DNA, that is BAMH1, site of the tetracycline resistant gene vector PBR322. Okay, E. coli cloning vector. This picture is most important. See this picture very carefully. From this picture, so many short questions will come. Okay. So antibiotic resistance gene, that is BAR2, his restriction endonuclease, that is the tetracycline site, and the BAMH1, and the vector will be PBR322. The recombinant plasmids will tetracycline resistance due to insertion of foreign DNA, but can still be selected out from non-recombinant ones, plating the transformants on ampicillin containing medium. The transformants growing an ampicillin containing medium is transferred on a medium containing tetracycline. The recombinant will grow in ampicillin containing medium but not in the containing tetracycline. But non-recombinant will grow in the medium containing both, and so when it is combinant and non-recombinant DNA, the non-recombinant only grow in the ampicillin, not in the tetracycline. If it is recombinant DNA, they can grow in the both. Okay. In this case, the antibiotic resistant genes helps in the selecting the transformation, whereas other antibiotic resistant genes gets inactivated due to insertion of the alien DNA and help in selection of recombinants. Selection of recombinants due to inactivation of antibiotic is a cumbersome procedure because it requires simultaneous plating on two plates having different antibiotics. So you can easily recognize which one recombinant, which one non-recombinant. When it is culture in the both medium tetracycline ampicillin, it is recombinant. If it is occur in only one medium, that is non-recombinant. So easily identify this. So that's why these are ampicillin, tetracycline are used as the selectable marker. Therefore, alternative selectable markers have been developed in different recombinant from non-recombinant on the basis of their ability to produce color in the presence of chromatographic substances. In other, a recombinant DNA is inserted within the coding sequence of an enzyme, which is referred to as insertional inactivation. The presence of a chromogenic substrate gives blue colored colonies if the plasmids in the bacteria does not have an insert. Presence of insert results into insertional inactivation of the alpha galactosidase and the colonies do not produce any color. These are identified as the recombinant colonies. Vector for cloning genes in plants and animals. You may be surprised to know that we have learned the lesson of transferring genes into the plants and animals from bacteria and viruses, which have known as the ages how to deliver genes to transform eukaryotic cells and force them to do what bacteria and viruses want. For example, Agrobacterium tumefaciens, a pathogen of several dicot plants, is able to deliver a piece of DNA known as tDNA to transform normal plants into a tumor and direct these tumor cells to produce the chemical required by the pathogens. Okay, so when you artificially produce something chemical, so that's time you can insert the vectors and genes, the plasmids inside that animal. So that's why bacteria and viruses work according to us. There is an example when you want to produce the chemicals that is required for the pathogens for the tumor or anything, so that's why their time they can Agrobacterium tumefaciens enter inside the plant's body, so that's why they can produce, that is known as the tDNA. They produce tumor, so that's why the plants can produce the resistance against this type of the pathogens. Okay. Similarly, retrovirus in the animals have ability to transform normal cells into the cancer cells. So that retrovirus cells have the capability that transfer the normal cell to the cancer cells. A better understanding of art delivering genes by pathogens in their eukaryotic host has generated knowledge to transform these tools of pathogens into useful vectors for delivered genes of interest to humans. The tumor-inducing Ti plasmids of Agrobacterium tumefaciens has now been modified into a cloning vector which is no more pathogenic to the plants, but is still able to use the mechanism to deliver genes of our interest into a variety of plants. Similarly, retrovirus also have been disarmed and now used to deliver desirable genes into animal cells. So one genes and one DNA fragment has been ligated into a suitable vector. It is transferred into the bacterial plants or animal host. Okay. So you can transfer the vectors for the cloning of the genes and plants, because when that is entered inside the plants and animals body, they can produce their own copies and also produce resistance against this type of the pathogens. Competent host for transformation with the recombinant DNA. So there is also competent host are present. Since DNA is a hydrophilic molecule, okay, and it cannot pass through cell membrane, in order to force bacteria to take up plasmids, the hydrophilics mean attracted to the water. Phobia means fear against. Hydrophobic means move from the water. But hydrophilic, it can contain, but our plasma membrane is made up of lipid and protein, so that's why DNA cannot pass through the plasma membrane. In order to force bacteria to take up plasmids, the bacterial cell must first be made competent to take up DNA. This is done by the treating with them a specific concentration of relevant cation, such as calcium, which increase the efficiency of DNA, enters to the bacterium through pores in the cell wall. Recombinant DNA can then forced into such cell by incubating the cells with recombinant DNA in ice. Following up, placing them briefly at 40 degrees centigrade and then putting them back on ice. This enables the bacteria to take up the recombinant DNA. This is not only way to introduce alien DNA into the host cell in a method known as microinjections. Okay, so not only all time plasmids the host cells that is joins with the alien DNA and introduced to the a host cell, that is not process. The process is known as the microinjection. Recombinant DNA is directly injected into the molecules of animal cell. In other methods suitable for the plant cells are bombarded with high velocity microparticles of gold and tungsten coated with the DNA is known as the bioelastic or gene gun. Okay, so what is gene gun? DNA that is introduced to the plant cell that is coated with the either the gold or tungsten coated. Okay. And then last method is dismart pathogens vector. This is when allowed to infect the cell, transfer the recombinant DNA into the host. Now we have learnt about the tools for constructing recombinant DNA. Let us discuss the process of facilitating recombinant DNA technology. Process of recombinant DNA technology. Recombinant DNA technology involves several specific sequence such as isolation of DNA, fragmentation of DNA by restriction endonuclease, isolation of desired DNA fragments, ligation of DNA into the host, culturing the host cell in a medium at large scale, and extraction of the desired product. Let us examine the steps in the isolation of genetic material, how the DNA material isolated from the body. This is not easy process because that is naturally occurs in our body. Recall that nucleic acid is the genetic material of all organisms without exception. Any living animals, they don't have nucleic acid, it is not possible. Primitive type, modern type, advanced types, something must be present because these are the unit of the characteristics, okay. In majority of organisms, this is deoxyribonucleic acid and DNA. Most of them has DNA. Some viruses has the RNA. In order to cut DNA with restriction enzyme, it needs to be pure form, free from other macromolecules. So when it is cut down from the any molecules, that need to be in the near pure form. Since the DNA is enclosed within the membranes, we have to break the cell open to release DNA along with other macromolecules such as RNA, proteins, polysaccharide and also lipids. This can be achieved by treating the bacterial cell, plants, animal tissue and enzymes such as lysozymes, cellulase, chitinase. So this type of enzyme helps. You know that genes are located on the long molecules of the DNA interwinding with proteins such as histone protein. DNA that is made up of histone proteins. The RNA can be removed by treatment of ribonuclease, whereas proteins can be removed by treatment with protease. Other macromolecules can be removed by the appropriate treatments and purified DNA ultimately participate out after the addition of chilled ethanol. This can be seen collection of fine threads in the suspension. Okay. Cutting of the DNA in specific location, how the DNA cutted at the specific location, restriction endonuclease, restriction enzyme digestion as performed by the incubating purified DNA molecules with the restriction enzyme. At the optimal condition, that is molecular scissor means that is not just like a metal things that cut. This is that part digested. If it is digested, it is easily separated. Agarose gel electrophoresis is employed to check the progression of restriction enzyme digestion. DNA is a negatively charged molecule when it is moved towards the positive electrodes, and its process is repeated with the vector DNA also. The joining of DNA involves several processes after having the cut source DNA as well as the vector DNA with a specific restriction enzyme. The cutout gene of interest from the source of DNA and cut vector with the space and mixed with the ligase is added. First, that is restriction nuclease cutted the DNA, and DNA ligase, you know that helps in the joining of the DNA. This results in the preparation of the recombinant DNA. Amplification of gene of inserting the PCR. PCR stand for polymerase chain reaction. In this reaction, multiple copies of gene of interest synthesis in vitro using two sets of primers synthesize oligonucleotides that are complementary to region DNA and enzyme DNA polymerase. The enzyme extends the primer using the nucleotides provided in the reaction and genomic DNA as template. If the process of replication of DNA is repeated many times, the segment of DNA can be amplified to the approximately billions times. 1 billion copies are made. Such repeated amplification is achieved by the use of thermostable DNA polymerase, Thermus aqueous. So what is thermostable DNA polymerase? Thermus as the source of the production of the thermostable DNA polymerase. Thermus aqueous, okay, aquaticus. This is most important, very short question. Very important short question. Which remain active during the high temperature induced denaturation of the double stranded DNA. The amplified fragment this desired can be used to ligate a vector further cloning. Okay. So this is up to for the today. Next day we will continue the rest of the part. Thank you very much everyone. Bye everyone.